Mano, the Angolan grocery delivery startup that launched in Nigeria in 2022, has expanded or has announced this expansion into food delivery in Lagos and Abuja. You know why I find this as an interesting story is the ongoing conversation about the macroeconomic situation happening in Nigeria and how it's affecting people's disposable income and how much they use these tech solutions for their day-to-day lives. And now another player is entering into this space. So Chimgo's like sincerely and from
Sincerely.
no, sincerely, I want you to say this sincerely and with your coverage of the startup space and the people that have entered into the space, startups that have entered into the space and have left. Do you think the Nigerian market needs another food delivery startup?
That's a billion naira question. I was going to use $1,000,000, but
Where do you want to be done?
our currency is our currency is not exactly doing very well. But yes, I don't know. Do we really need another competitor? Probably. I don't think it's a yes or no question. Nobody
Okay.
would give you a straight answer or should give you a straight answer. If you do, well, maybe you know something that we do not know. But I don't think we do. Like, what am I even saying? We probably do. We probably don't. So I think what's to be said is the food delivery market in Nigeria is hardly saturated. We have a number of players, and what's interesting is that everybody seems to be going after, at least with the current crop of players we have, everybody's going after a different group of customers. So you would first think Chowdeck. Chowdeck is going after a specific group of customers, right?
And
Well, I don't know, Gen Zs, do they really have money like that? But
would you like
they're
to eat
going-
out?
yeah,
At-
they're
if
going
they
for the
don't have
person
money.
who is willing to pay just a little more to get the food that they want. Then you have a food court, for example. Food court is not food delivery, but they are also targeting a very different niche. Same with Hey Food. So we kind of have, yes, while it's still food delivery, but we have, like, I guess I'll call that sub niches from what we have seen so far. So maybe one more player is welcome. I mean, what I would want to know is, of course, that Mano is just, they are going to continue operating in Lagos and Abuja. I do not know if they would begin to consider other markets, other cities. Perhaps Ibadan, everyone does Lagos, Abuja, then Port Harcourt. I do not know if they would also be considering similar moves. But yeah, it's, I guess it's a welcome development.
So looking at how Mano has fared in with grocery delivery, do you think they have like a good shot at, since it's as if they have like the infrastructure, they're probably going to convert their current customer base to groceries and food. They are quite similar. So do you think like they have like a chance and they don't have to like struggle much given what they already have access to?
Okay, so I think they have more than a chance.
Okay.
For a number of reasons. One would be the approach that they want to take. We'll get to that in a bit, but I think that's one reason why they have a shot. But the other is, like you mentioned, they already have operational experience in the African market. So the first time I used Mano was last year. I needed a particular coffee brand that I couldn't find in the usual stores that I use, and I used them. The promise, I think, was I could get my delivery in about 45 minutes, and I wanted to test it. So placed an order. I thought I had placed an order, but it was later on I found out I had not. So I kind of placed my order very late, around maybe between 3 and 4 p.m. And I did not expect to get it that day because of the timing. But I did. I got it around 8 p.m., which, to be fair, it's not 45 minutes. But any other person would have probably said your order will come the next day. But they delivered on that day. And from some of the conversations I've seen around, they seem very efficient when it comes to like delivery times. And with food delivery, I think apart from me being able to get my food when I want it, the speed at which you deliver my food is also very important. I don't want my food coming 2 hours after I have delivered. What if I die of hunger? Right?
If I have not die, but it's
but
not a good one.
With food delivery, like speed is essential.
Very important.
If you can't guarantee me speed, then we could have issues. So I think Mano has a shot.
Yeah.
Just going by that alone, they do. And again, we do not exactly have any clear market winner. Yes, we have people who have a significant share of the market, but we do not have a clear market winner. So anyone coming in now would have a shot. I mean, maybe if you review it in a month or in a year or two, you now find out whether you're still alive. But at this moment in time, 10:23 on Thursday, you do have a shot.
Right. For people that like have no idea what how Mano works, right? It's just like they aggregate like supermarkets, or malls that sell stuff on their platform, and then you go there, look for what you're looking for, place an order, pay for it, then they deliver, they bring it. It's as if you're sending somebody on a grocery shopping, you're sending them to the market to get something for you. That's the way it works. So I feel that that model, if extended into food delivery, with them aggregating like stores that are close to like hotspots, like places that people would ordinarily order food, like maybe Unilag area or Ikeja, or so, like you just like focus on those kind of places that people ordinarily patronize, right? And there's a comment that came up in the announcement that they made, and I'm going to read that out now. It seems like it has a lot of things to do with the model they are eventually going to run. And there is the comment: if we have 1,000 customers, we want to nurture them and ensure they have all they need. And it speaks to something like it's like they want to, like, we are not going for like a large number. We just feel like the few we can get, we are able to serve them like individuals. So what does that statement, like, how does it speak to the kind of model they probably run with this food delivery thing they want to start doing?
Okay, so I think what it just tells you is that the focus for them isn't growth at all costs or rapid growth. Okay. That's not the focus. And it makes perfect sense.
Okay.
The reason is, yes, I said you have a shot, but your market is not exactly very large. Food inflation right now is, I think, above 35% in Nigeria.
And that's like the real measure of inflation.
Yeah, well, I mean, some people would dispute that, but we have sky high food inflation on one hand. You also have a situation where Nigerians are spending, the average Nigerian spends, I think, about 60% of their annual income on food, which leaves very little room for, luxuries.
Yeah.
And if we are being honest here, food delivery is sort of luxury. It's not something that maybe a family of four, like, I don't know, it's not something a father who earns 150,000 naira would consider every day for his kids, right? So it's luxury for the most part. So your market isn't that large as you would wish. So deciding that I want to target a segment of the market and then serve them, make sure that they are very happy, that they think twice before switching to another person, is a perfect strategy. The margins is very thin, and if you decide to serve if you want to go after a very large customer base, what that would often mean is you're offering incentives to get them on board, right? So you're either spending huge on marketing, and that marketing may not always translate to actual revenue from the customer. I wonder what the average revenue per user for the average food grocery delivery brand in Nigeria is, right? It could be high, but when you consider that in terms of your customer acquisition cost, and juxtapose that, I wonder what I suspect it doesn't tell a very, very interesting story. So, and I have the suspicion that Mano has been in this food delivery market before.
In Nigeria.
Yes, but don't take my word for it, except they agree to confirm it. But yeah, I think that margin being very thin makes sense for them, or makes sense for their approach, because if you have 100,000 people, yes, you would. The assumption is that with scale, you achieve economies of scale, and then you kind of cut down on your costs. But that may not always be the case, right? So to your question, what can they do? There are a few things, and I think they've already outlined some of them. One is that they mentioned that, yes, there are like larger players in that particular space, but you have issues with customer refunds when your food, I mean, we experienced something similar yesterday, not with the food delivery product, but someone in that space, right? Customer refund takes time for some people whose name I would not be naming. There's also the fact that orders can be mixed up, which kind of speaks to the customer service. And then there's the delayed food, like having your food come hours after, which almost everybody has had similar challenges. And I suspect it's also because they have not, like they've scaled very quickly. And of course, those are like common problems.
Challenges.
So yeah, if they can fix those issues, ensure that they're growing, maybe not slowly, but growing appropriately. Like, don't be too quick to scale. Only serve people that you know that the revenue from what they are bringing in is like it's commensurate with what you're spending to acquire them. Then yeah, it makes sense. And I mean, I think Mano hasn't. I don't know that they've raised a lot of money, so that's something to also be cautious about. So yeah, I think if they can fix some of those things, they're
probably going to grow slow and attend to this pain point that customers have. It's usually don't like overpromise. The 45 minutes, 15 minutes delivery.
Actually, under promise and over deliver might be a better thing. And to be fair, I think they will have a good chance. Really, that efficiency here, it looks like
they already have efficiency with grocery shopping. But
yes, so food is a different beast. Yes, but I think they can still like take some of the learnings from that.
Okay, yeah, that's the thing I was trying to. Yes, if you're entering into a new market, you must be ready to like look for a pain point that customers, because even if you don't want customers to use your products at first, once you're new, they want to try you.
Wait, I don't even want customers to use.
No, I'm trying to say that if you don't want to go in and try to like acquire customer a lot, for instance, customers who still want that already use food delivery, they still want to use your products to see whether this is good than what I'm using, especially if the other one is problematic. You get, so they should be able to solve that, like like attack that pain point, and that will help them to retain new customers. And we'll look out for how Mano progresses in this new market it has entered.
To listen to the full episode of this podcast, visit podcast.techpoint.africa or search for Techpoint Africa Podcast on your favorite podcast platforms.